What's going on, Jerome's? Week 3 of the NFL season is upon us. Here are our picks for the weekend, sure to go wrong. Week 2, we went 8-7, and since we were too lazy to pick week 1, and also we missed Thursday Night Football, both weeks 2 and 3, we were 8-7 on the season. Also, if you want to fade our picks, just bet the other side. I think you might do okay. Again, entertainment purposes only. If you want to put a jelly bean or two down, who's to say? Who's to say? First up of the early games, you got the Bengals at the Jets. Bengals at the Jets. That's right. Cincinnati's coming in. They're still favored by 6, even though the Jets had that fluke win against the Browns. But I think that this is going to be big-time momentum. They're back home, and Cincinnati is wounded, man. They're 0-2. That offensive line can't block anyone. I do think that Rob Saleh is going to get after Joe Burrow's ass. I think the Jets come in. I think they have a statement win. Yeah, absolutely big time. They get it done with Joe Flacco. Woo! Who needs Zach Wilson? Shoot. I think that the Jets cover. I think they win outright, so we'll take it, man. Also, in the AFC East, so you got the Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins. This is shaping up to be a damn good game so far, and the Bills look like an absolute juggernaut, blowing out the Rams week 1, and then also blowing out the Tennessee Titans on Monday Night Football. And the Dolphins, also very plucky as well. Tua's looking like a superstar, that big-time comeback win against the Ravens. So two teams, 2-0 for AFC East supremacy. What's it going to be? I do think that the Bills win, but I think that the Dolphins do cover. 6 points is a lot in division. I know that a lot of people are just looking at it like, whoa, look at the Rams, look at the Titans game. I mean, the Bills are going to be hard to stop, but it's always different in division. It's always different with teams that know each other very well. Xavier Howard on Stephon Diggs, I think, is going to be a big-time matchup to watch. But, yeah, give me the points in this divisional matchup. KC at Indy, man. Casey and JoJo, all my life I've been waiting to cover against the stupid Colts. So Kansas City, they look good, even though they're without Tyreek Hill. Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes still rolling. Indianapolis, Indy might be in some trouble, man. I think Jim Irsay may be ready to axe Frank Reich if things don't work out. Matt Ryan looks dead to cease to be. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, even though my fantasy team, man, just failure to launch. But I think Kansas City comes in. I think they win by 10 plus. So I'm easily going to take the 5.5 to the face. So go ahead. Philly at Washington. So a matchup in the NFC Eastern division. Whatever. Still bitter at Philly. But the Commies, the Commies beat the Jaguars week 1. They had a very near run thing with Detroit week 2. And you're coming back home. Philadelphia riding high, short week. Of course, a divisional matchup. Always give a little bit more credence there. And I think Washington matches up relatively favorably with the Eagles. They have one of the best defensive lines in football, great front seven. They know what Jalen Hurts can do. So give me Washington and the points. We're even getting more? Is it Philly 5.5? It's actually Philly 6.5. Woo! Taking, man. So taking that extra point, just short of the full touchdown. I don't know if Washington wins outright, but I'm certainly going to take the points. Another in-division matchup. So you got Detroit visiting the great state of Minnesota. That's right. Historic U.S. Bank Stadium. I think the Vikings get right in the spot. I think they easily cover the 6. I think they end up winning by 9 or 10. Even though, yes, the Lions, great run of the ball. Vikings, maybe not so much. But bounce back time in the great state. So we get things done. And the Vikings, I think our final score prediction was, 28-16? Or 26-18, something weird like that. I like the weird number. Scorigami. And then you got the Raiders visiting Tennessee. The Raiders... Battle of 0-2 squads where, of course, the Raiders had that miracle loss against Kyler and the Cardinals, and then the Titans, that was not close at all. Where Tennessee's in trouble. Vegas, I think they can bounce back. I think they go out to Nashville. I think they get their chicken hot, and I think that they win. I think they cover, and it's going to be... Is Mike Vrabel on the hot seat? Just signed an extension, so I doubt it, but... I don't know. Tannehill is obviously not the same guy when Derrick Henry's not putting up monster numbers. Derrick Henry doesn't look like that guy. Treylon Burks is struggling trying to replace A.J. Brown. I just don't know, man. Baltimore visiting New England. Now, this used to be a heavyweight matchup. This ain't your dad's Patriots. I'm not ready to buy in. I don't think that I trust them. And the Ravens, they're steaming coming off that miracle loss against the Dolphins. So I think John Harbaugh's crew comes in. I think they get it done. I think Lamar Jackson just absolutely takes it to the Patriots. I think they win outright. I think that they cover pretty easily. So there you go. And then you got the Saints visiting Carolina, where, the Saints just sort of a dud game against the Bucs. What can you do? Carolina is reeling. Just I don't know what's going to go on in Carolina, but give me the points. I do think that it's going to be a very thin needle to thread, but I think New Orleans wins the game. I don't think they win by more than 2.5. As weird as it is, I think this game just screams like 17-16, just sort of a uggo. Glad this is buried at noon on Sunday sort of game. So go ahead. Speaking of ugly games, are you glad they're buried at noon on Sunday? So you got the Texans visiting the Bears. And the Bears are favored by a field goal. Give me the Texans, man. Like I like Davis Mills, even though that game last week they left a lot of points on the field. This is the Lovie Smith revenge game, so factor that in. I do like Pierce, the running back for the Texans. I think they come in. Chicago, Week 1 was an anomaly because they played the Niners with Trey Lance in a monsoon. I think Week 2 against the Packers is much more what the Bears are going to be this year. So give me the points with the Texans on the road getting it done. At least they don't have to change time zones. Late games. So you got the Jaguars going from Duval all the way out to La La Land, taking on the Chargers. Chargers are favored by 7. Give me Jacksonville, where so Justin Herbert is going to play dinged up with his ribs. He's not giving me 100%. And it does feel like Trevor Lawrence and company, they're starting to get something going. They got some momentum because they lost on the road Week 1 against the Commies, whatever. They blanked the Colts Week 2. And you got Christian Kirk, you got Etienne, you got James Robinson. They're starting to do some things with the Jaguars, man. Plus, they have a suite of young, great pass rushers they can get after and on defense. So I think that Jacksonville goes out. Not only do they cover, I think they win outright. I just think so, man. Atlanta at Seattle, whatever. I'll take the Seahawks. This game is going to be gross, but yeah. Then Green Bay at Tampa Bay, the battle of the A-Bays. I do think that Tampa at 2-0 is the better team. I think Green Bay just sort of had a bye week playing the Bears at home in prime time. So I think Tampa wins. I think they cover the 1, and then they get it done. Then you got the Rams at the Cardinals. Again, one of those divisional games. I know that everyone's going to be riding high from Kyler and the end of that Raider game. The Rams, whatever. They got blown out on Thursday night by the Bills, and then they handled their business at home against the Falcons Week 2. So I do think that the Rams win. I think that they cover even on the road. I think they win by a touchdown. Then you got the Niners at Denver. Jimmy G returning to Denver, even though he never played there. Don't know why I said returning, but I think the familiarity factor with the Niners and Russ, I think that is a factor. I think that San Francisco goes in. I think as favorites on the road in prime time, they go into Mile High, even though Denver's got a very talented team. I think that Shanahan and the Niners do get it done. And then Monday Night Football, where after Dak got injured, this matchup looked like it kind of sucked, but then the Giants started out 2-0 and Cooper Rush looks legit. But I do think that Brian Daboll, Canadian Santa Claus, they keep rolling, man. I think that the Giants win by a field goal. I think it actually turns into a good game, even though we said before, stop putting the NFC East in prime time. I think this one actually turns out pretty decent. So that is it. Those are your Week 3 NFL picks. Sure to go wrong. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.